I've opened this image in Photoshop, and in the lighter areas I have the info palette open up here in the top right, and I have a printing background, so I usually work in CMYK, which are the colors that most things are printed with. Cyan is kind of a blue, and magenta is a reddish color, yellow is yellow, and then black. RGB numbers are kind of opposite, and I'm not familiar with those. Some people use those. If you're more comfortable with those, that works fine. But I want to clean these up. These white areas in the snow, in the RGB or the CMYK, it's reading 24 cyan, 16 magenta, 7 yellow. I want to brighten that up. So I'm going to go up to Image Adjustments, over and down the curves. Curves palette comes up. The quick keys are push and hold down the control key and push M on the keyboard, and the curves palette comes up. So with these curves, now I'm working in RGB. This is the highlight or the light end in the upper right corner. If I click and hold and drag it over, it lightens away, it blows it all right out. And if I drag down, it's going to add weight to the highlights. It's going to flatten the photo way out. In the mid-tone here, kind of in printing, it's the 50% dot area. You click and left click on the mouse and hold and move up. It lightens the mid-tones, but it affects the 3/4 tones and the quarter tones too, lightens. And then if you go down, it darkens everything. And then in the lower right corner is the shadow or the dark areas of the picture. I'm going to left click and hold and drag up. And see how that just flattens the image out? You're making the dark areas less dark going up. If you go to the right, it's going to darken the dark areas, and see how it darkens up the image. But we're going to work just in the highlight end. I'm going to go in to RGB. I'm going to click on red. Now that affects, in the highlight end, the blue or the cyan in the CMYK, which is the printing. Now over here where the eyedroppers show it, I'm reading 18. It went from 24 down to 18. Magenta is 18 at 18, and yellow's at 5. I'm going to move that over a little bit more. But when you do this, it'll affect the other colors also in RGB and CMYK. Now the cyan is down to 15, but the magenta bumped up to 21, and the yellow is still at 5. So now I'm going to go into the palettes here and click on the green, which affects the magenta or the red in the highlights. I moved that over a little bit. We have 15 cyan, 16 magenta, and 8 yellow, so the yellow's bumping up a little bit. That's okay. Left click and drag over to the left a little bit more. Now we have 16, 8, and 12, so the yellow's bumped up a bit. And generally you want, if the cyan's reading 15, magenta to read 10 and the yellow to read 10 is a pretty balanced white. And you can do whatever you want. I'm going to go into the blue here, left click, hold, and drag over to the left and take some yellow down a bit there. Now we're reading 14, 8, and 4. 10, 15. Yeah, let's clean it up a bit. Let's see, what do we have? 16, 9, and 6. That's not too bad of a balance there. I'm going to click OK, Control, hold, and M, bring that back up. It applied that change. Now I'm just going to go into RGB in the upper right, left click and drag over to the left and lighten up those highlights a bit, or the lightest areas in the image. 1273. Well, you get kind of the idea. I'm going to cancel that. Here's the original. It's darker, it's got a bluish tinge to it. And here's the correction where the whites are whiter and it's lightened up overall. But I'd encourage you just to mess around with the curves. You can do all kinds of things with them. But then I'm going to save it, file, in the upper left, file, save as, and I'm going to save it as a PSD file. I'm going to name it store. That saves the best quality image. If you have a JPEG, which originally this was a JPEG image, and you keep doing work and saving as JPEG, save as JPEG, it throws information away and you can never get that back. So I saved the original image, I resaved the original JPEG as a PSD or Photoshop file. That's the highest quality you can get. So I'm just going to cancel this. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share, and have a great day.